Good morning, bookish friends on the internet. Welcome back to my channel, and Merry Christmas! Yay! The reason why I'm going to be talking a little bit quiet today is because it is currently 6 a.m. as I'm filming this on Christmas morning, and I just wanted to get a video out for you guys. So today is going to be a book tag called the Best and Worst Series book tag. I don't remember who the creator of this tag was, but I know I saw Sam from Thoughts on Tomes doing this one, so this was another video inspired by Sam. And who doesn't like to talk about their favorite book series or their worst book series? So I have my phone pulled up right here with a screenshot of the questions from the original creator who made this. So I'm gonna have all the questions. There is a total of 17 questions, so this is gonna be a long chatty video. So curl up with a blanket, curl up with a book, and let's just sit and chat for a little while. I know I'm waiting for my whole family to wake up to open presents. I was like, might as well film. So question one, so let's just jump into the book tag. Question one is, what is the best series that you caught up with this year that is still a work in progress? There are so many options I can choose for this, because literally if you guys will see it soon, but I'm gonna do like all the books I read in 2022, and a lot of them have been series, which is what I wanted to focus on. And a lot of them I binge read back to back, so that would be hard for me to pick. But the one that like shocked me the most, and the one that I talked about a lot with my mom, is Crescent City series by Sarah J Maas. If you don't know what this is very popular, super hype up here on BookTube. I was gonna pick book 2 for this, because that ending actually blew me away. Like, it's in my top 10 favorites for a reason. I loved Sarah J Maas's writing, so I don't know why this book took me forever to get to, because I started this book, I want to say the year it came out, so like 2020 or something like that, and I just couldn't get into it at the time, and then I picked it up this year in like the springtime, and absolutely loved it. It was a fun fantasy with a little bit of a mystery thriller aspect in it, and I can't stop thinking about Hunt and Bryce, and I'm excited but nervous to see what's going to happen in book 3, because book 2 ended on a huge cliffhanger, and I need book 3 like the day I finish it, book 1. So yeah, I would say this is the one that is the best series that is a work in progress still. Question 2 is, what is the best work in progress series that you're still catching up with? And this one, even though it does sound kind of similar to question 1, I think it's not. But for that one, I would say Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I binge read the heck out of this series this year. I'm on book 6 of the series, and there's gonna be like 10 books out, and there's already 7 out, so we have 3 more to go. And he is just pumping books out left and right, and I'm just like, slow down a little bit, Sanderson, so I can get caught up with all your work. I'm also going to talk about the Mistborn series early on, or later on in this tag, because there's a question for it. But yeah, I really loved this. I wanted to read this one in particular because this was on my 22 books to read in 2022 list, and I actually managed to get to it, and it was a fun, enjoyable. I definitely cried in this ending because it wrapped up the first trilogy of the first Mistborn series, and then there's a second series, if you didn't know. Again, this is another popular, not new release, but it's popular and new to me. I knew I was going to love Sanderson's writing, I just wasn't sure how much I was going to devour this book. So it's definitely, again, in my favorite list of 2022, and I just can't wait to dive back into this world next year, and hopefully I'll love books 6 and 7, so those are the only 2 I have to get caught up with. Next question I have is, what was your favorite first book in a series you read this year? My favorite first book was hard to choose because again I read a lot of different series, but this one I picked it up on a whim because I was heading to Y'all West and I was like, oh, let me see if I can read it before Y'all West and then meet the author there, and that was Victoria Aveyard's Realmbreaker. Like I said, picked this up on a whim. I actually had this from Target since it came out in 2021 last year, and I just never got around to reading it until now, and I'm actually really happy I did because at the time when I was reading book 1, book 2 was about to come out, so I almost had a chance to get an arc of book 2 at Y'all West, but I sadly didn't. So yeah, this is a first book in a series I think is really good. It did take a while for me to get into it though, just because it was setting up the world, it was setting up the characters that we meet, and I feel like this is also a very underrated book right now. Even though book 2 did just came out, I just feel like nobody is talking about this book, and if they are, I'm not on that platform. But yeah, if you love a good like Lord of the Rings-esque type of thing, I think you will love this series, especially book 2. I loved book 2, even though I did read it when I was sick over the summer, so that was not fun, but I'm definitely going to reread the book 1 and 2 next year. I don't know if book 3 is going to come out, but if it does, that'll be very exciting. Question 4 is, what is a first book in a series that you read this year that you think that should have just been a standalone? For this one, I actually, when I was reading it, thought it was a standalone, and then when I went to go put my review in on Goodreads, it said book 1, and then book 2 comes out I think this year as well, and that is Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. I am so disappointed that I didn't love this book. This is going to be on my disappointing reads for 2023, or not 2023, 2022, and I had too much hype for this, I think. I first heard about this through Y'all West when they were dropping arcs, and I saw the original cover for this, and I was like, that is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot believe people already have that cover in their hands. But then I heard that Owlcrate was doing a special edition, so this is a special edition from Owlcrate. So thank you so much, Owlcrate, for putting this in one of your boxes. It was not my favorite book I read from Owlcrate, but like it was still really good, and it's such a pretty edition that I really don't want to get rid of. But like, this was a 3.5 star for me. I read this back in like September, I think, and this was just a 3.5. It was okay. It was like a middle of the road type of book, you know. And again, I didn't know it was a first book in a series until I went to go put my review in on Goodreads, and I don't know if I will continue in the series because these characters are kind of forgettable, and like I said, it wasn't my favorite, and I'm sad because this is the author's debut novel. Question number 5 is, what is your most overhyped series? When I was looking at my Goodreads reading challenges, I was like, oh, a lot of these can count as overhyped, but the one I think that is overhyped the most and that I'm scared to continue with is Morning Stars by Pierce Brown, or also just known as the Red Rising series. I read Golden Sun. It was actually my first book I read for 2022, and it was kind of a disappointing read as well. So I think that's why I haven't picked up Morning Star, and plus I was anticipating, because Red Rising felt like a YA book to me, and I don't know if that's just like a me thing, or if that's just how everyone else felt, but I know this series has mixed opinions. I know book 6 is supposed to come out in 2023, so that's very exciting for those who love the series. I think I will continue in 2023, because I do own book 3, obviously, because I have it in my hands, and I also own 4 and 5, so I was like, might as well give it a shot, another shot. But yeah, I don't know. Book 2 I gave 3 stars to, so we'll see if I actually do continue. But yeah, I just think this is overhyped, and I don't see me continuing it, but if I do, you guys will know more than I will. Question number 6 is, what is a series that you DNF'd this year? That one, I couldn't really think of an answer for, because I don't really DNF books, even though I probably should. Um, but yeah, I really don't really DNF things, I guess, so I don't have an answer for that one. Question 7 is, what was your favorite series finale of the year, or what was your least favorite series finale of the year? So, I didn't see that there was a second part to that question. My least favorite is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. That, I don't know if it's because I binge read book 1 and 2 back to back, but I love book 1 more than I love book 2 of that series, so I forgot to grab that because I didn't realize it was the second part. But for a series finale that was my favorite, it was hard to pick only one, but I have two options for this. You guys know I never just stick to one answer for a book tag, but I have two options for this. They were both 5-star reads, and yeah, so they are Aurora Ends by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I cannot stop talking about this series. It is truly amazing. It's like Star Trek, but better, I would say. And I honestly love this world, love the characters. I cried in the series finale because of what happened at the end. So yeah, I'm very curious to see if Amy and Jay will write anything else again, because the series is just so fun and so enjoyable, and I'll definitely reread it sometime soon. I just don't know when. Another series finale that I absolutely loved was The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the third and final book in the, well, I don't know if it counts as a finale because there's a fourth book coming in the world. It's called The Brother Hathorns, which is like literally the brothers in this book. They're getting their own book. It comes out in August next year. Definitely one of my most anticipated reads of next year. Anyways, I really enjoyed this. I buddy read this book with my friend Kaylani over at Kaylani. Oh my god, Kaylani Simply Me. I can never say your channel's name fast. I'm so sorry. But we buddy read this in October, and it was just like a perfect month to read it in because it's full of mystery, puzzles, and like a whodunit thriller type of thing as well. And there's a love triangle in here, which I was pretty mad about the love triangle, but overall I really enjoyed this world, and I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen in The Brother Hathorn. And this was definitely a very satisfying ending, even though I was mad about the love triangle part. Question number 7, what was your, oh, we already did 7. Question 8, what was the biggest cliffhanger you had in a series this year? Again, I was gonna pick The Merciless Ones by Naomi Forna. That was a crazy cliffhanger. I really hope book 3 comes out next year. There's actually a book that I just finished this week, and it's gonna be in my December wrap-up, but that is a Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. Oh my god, I finally finished this book. It took me 2 weeks to read it, but I absolutely loved it, if you cannot tell by the tabs. This was an instant 5-star read for me, and I knew I should not have filmed my top 10 favorites until I read this, but it was just so good, so fun, and I will definitely talk more about this in my December wrap-up. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I can not believe there's gonna be a book 3 in here, because at first I thought this was gonna be a duology like everybody else thought it was too. But it turns out it ended on a cliffhanger, hence why I picked this book, and that cliffhanger was also crazy. I messaged Clint from Reads Readers on Instagram. I was like, oh my god, please tell me we're gonna get a third book in the trilogy, because that was a crazy cliffhanger. There was no news about book 3, so Tracy, I hope there's gonna be a third book, because I absolutely loved it, and it did not disappoint, and I was so happy that I read it this month, and I can't wait to talk about it more in my December wrap-up. The next question is, what is your favorite spin-off series that you read this year? I don't know if this counts as a spin-off series, because it's still set in the same world, but that is Mistborn Era 2, by Brandon Sanderson, or as the first book is called, The Alloy of the Law. I think I loved Mistborn Era 2 more than 1, which was really weird and random to say, because I absolutely loved, as you can see earlier in the tag, I mentioned it in the book tag earlier, but like the banter between Max, is it Max? Wax and Wayne. I don't know why I thought of Max. Wax and Wayne, their banter was just so hilarious to read about. And I'm excited to pick up book 6 hopefully next year. I was gonna pick it up this month, but I don't think I have time to pick up another large fantasy book. But yeah, this is set 100 years after the first set of the Mistborn series, so I don't know if you have to read them before reading the series or vice versa, but I read them in order from like the Final Empire all the way up to where I am now in this world, and it's really an enjoyable series, and I just love the world, the magic system, and the gunslinging action that we have in the second era. So I don't know if this counts as a spin-off series, but I'm gonna count it either way. Next question I have is, what is your most anticipated next book in a series that you read this year that will come out next year? And then for that one, I'm gonna pick a middle grade series that I read, and that is I don't know what your name is. I don't know if there's a name for the series, but the second book is called, this is the second book, by the way, but this is called The Last Fallen Moon by Gracie Kim. Oh, Gifted Clan series, duh, is great on the title. Yeah, the Gifted Clan trilogy, the third book is called The Last Fallen Realm, I think, and that comes out June 6th, so it comes out a week before my birthday. That is so exciting. That cover is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to see it in person. I did a book tour for this one on my Instagram, and it was just a fun, enjoyable middle grade series. I absolutely loved it. I cannot believe how quickly I read the series earlier this year, and I'm kind of disappointed because I was just like, oh my gosh, this was a crazy cliffhanger again, and I was like, yes, please, I need book 3 right now. Sorry about that. My sister was just texting me, asking me if I was up. Question number 11. What is your most anticipated series to catch up with next year based on what you read in that series this year? For that, I would say the She's With Me series by Jessica Consolo. She has a new book coming out called Be With Me, and that's like, I don't know if it's the 4th book in the series, but it's considered book 4. Excuse me, it's considered book 4 in a series on Goodreads, so I absolutely love the series. If it wasn't for my friend Taylor, who recommended the series to me a few years ago, I probably would never have picked it up, to be honest, but it quickly became one of my favorite trilogies to read, and I just can't wait, because the new book in this world is following Aiden's twin brothers, and I really loved them in this series, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do now that they're like older and all that. And if you read the She's With Me trilogy, I think that will be a fun, exciting experience for us fans to see what's gonna happen with Aiden's twin brothers, so that will be a fun experience for me to read about. Question 12, what is your favorite series that you finished this year? For me, I was absolutely enthralled with The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. As you can see, I absolutely love this series. I literally binge read this trilogy earlier this year, so I'm really happy I did so. I enjoyed it overall. All 3 books were 5 stars. There was some small things that I didn't love in book 3, and I feel like everybody says that about this trilogy, but I agree. There's some small stuff in here that I wasn't a huge fan of, but these books, this one doesn't look like 500 pages, but like all 3 books are over 500 pages, so it's such an accomplishment to me, binge reading an adult fantasy series. And yeah, I really love this series. It's definitely in my top 10 favorites, and I will definitely recommend this to people who want like a Mulan inspired type of story. Question, that always happens. Question 13. What is your favorite episodic series of the year? Not sure what that means, so I'm gonna skip that question. Question 14 is, what is a series that you finally bailed on after holding on for too long? I don't know. That one is also hard, so I'm gonna skip that one. Question 15. What is a series you were most surprised that you liked this year? I think I also chose the Poppy War for that, or a series I was most surprised that I liked this year. Another recommendation from my friend Taylor, and that is the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. I'm currently on book 3. As you can tell, I absolutely love the series. It was just a fun, fast-paced adult fantasy series. And again, I haven't been reading a whole lot of like adult books this year, so when I told my friend Taylor I was reading a few of them earlier this year, she was like, if you love Sanderson's writing, I think you will love John Gwynne. And she's right. I absolutely loved it. I'm hoping to finish this one sometimes this month, hopefully this month, because I don't want to carry this over to the New Year's. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Ruin, and I'm hoping I will love this by the end of the book. Question number 16. What is a series that you meant to catch up on this year or finish this year that you didn't? And for that one, I picked the Keeper of the Lost City series by Shannon Messenger. I meant to get caught up with the series because the new one was coming out. Book 9 came out, and I'm still on book 4, which is Neverseen. So, yeah. And then the final question is, what is a series you finished this year that is greater than Sum of the Parts? Honestly, I don't know. Or what is a series you caught up with this year that is greater than some part? I really don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna say a series I want to get caught up with this year as well is the Seven Realm series by Cinderella Chimer. So yeah, there you have it. Those are all the answers to the 17th question. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll tag all my friends who should do this tag. If you want to do this book tag, you have been tagged, and I will chat with you guys down in the comments below. Bye.